Hey guys, so today we are going to wrap the slide of this Glock 43X. So we are going to unload it first. We're going to take the magazine out. Then we're going to take the bullet out the chamber. It's nice and clear. And then what you're going to need is vinyl or gun skin if you want to get a regular gun skin from Amazon. But gun skin is still vinyl, so you can just get different color vinyls. It comes in a roll of like 4 feet by 1 foot, or there's different sizes. So I got this carbon fiber green from Amazon. So you're gonna need the vinyl, an X-Acto knife, or the Gen blade. I call it the Gen. And a card that you don't use that's going to be used for, smoothing certain surfaces. So you're going to need those materials and a heat gun. You can get a heat gun on Amazon also. I got this one for about 20 bucks. It has low pressure and high pressure, low heat, high heat. And we're going to start the process now. So the first thing you want to do, depending on your weapon, at least with this Glock 43X, in order to take the slide off, we want to grab it from the back here and just squeeze to get some of the slide back. Then you're gonna bring down the levers on the front here, then let go, and that'll have it come right off. We're gonna set this pistol grip part to the side. We're not gonna need that right now. Then what we're gonna do is take the spring out, put that to the side, and we're going to take the barrel out of the slide. We're going to set it to the side also. And that's it. Now we can start the process. Now, one thing I did forget as far as the supplies you need is some alcohol, some rubbing alcohol, so that we can get any oil or residue off the slide, of the outdoor of the slide, so that the vinyl sticks very well to it. So I am going to grab that right now. All right, so I have the 70% alcohol. You don't want to use anything higher. If you can, use something lower, like 50% alcohol, because the 90% is going to be way too strong and it can discolor your slide. So anything 50%, 70% is fine. You're only going to use a little bit. And I got my Q-tip. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to rub all that alcohol all along the slide. All right, so now that that's done, we are going to cut a piece of this vinyl. What you want to do is kind of like gift wrapping a little bit. You want to make sure you're able to wrap it all the way around, even if there's a little extra hanging, that's fine. So you want to wrap it all the way around. Oh yeah, big difference. Right, I'm gonna set that to the side. And set this exact knife to the side since it's not. Now, after you peel the paper off the vinyl, you're gonna set it right on the top of the vinyl. And you're going to smooth it with your fingers or with a card right on the edge of the sights. Like that. Make sure there's no wrinkles or pockets. Nice and smooth. Get your heat gun. Just very lightly, not too close. Pass it around that top part that you're already stuck. And you'll see the paper starting to get the form of the sights a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't get too close. Now, we are going to cut around the sights. Very lightly, right on that edge where you smoothed of the sight. And then you're going to cut on the other side of the sight. On the other side, you want to cut not all the way down on the edge, because then it's going to leave a space and you're going to see more than just the sight. You're going to see a little bit of the slide. So on this side, on the inner part of the sight, you do want to cut right on that edge, and then you want to cut, like, just fold it over just a little tiny bit. You're gonna feel the edge of the sight over here, but the top edge, not the bottom edge. The top edge here, of the top of the sight here. You want to cut right along that. Just a little bit, and then right on the edge of the top part, also on the side here. Right there. And then on the other side right here, make sure you feel for it first. And cut it right on that edge right here. Not at the bottom, but up the top of the sight. Right where it starts falling over. So, I'm done with the first sight. This is going to take a lot of patience, guys. You want to wrap your gun, it takes a lot of patience. I always only do the slide. But this is how it looks right now, how it should look. So you have the sight coming out, and the wrap is around it. Now we're going to take this little piece off. So I'm going to take that piece off now. Very gently cut right on the bottom edge right there. Let me show you guys what it looks like. All right, so now we are going to press down on this back part, since we already cut around it. And the reason is, guys, that you do not want to, so the first cut is going to be on the inner edge of the sight, like right where it finishes, right there, right in between the barrel and the sight. But the reason why you don't want to do the same on the back part is because it leaves a gap once it's cut out. So that's the reason. So in the inner part, yes. Now the back part, which is the back of the barrel, you want to cut right on the top edge of the sight, like right on this top, not the bottom top, not the bottom edge, right there. And then you keep cutting on the top edge right here on the side, and on the other side. Once all this is cut out, then you can cut on the bottom of this edge where the barrel is. So that way it's nice and wrapped around it. All right. So now we're going to do the same with the front sight. Front sight's a little bit trickier because it's a smaller sight, but we're going to do the same process. Cut right on that edge. And then we're going to cut on the top edge of the other side of the sight. So you want to fold it just a little bit. Then we're going to cut on the top edge of the side of it again. Now we're going to cut all the way through. Right there. That's done. See how it's coming out? See? Now, all we have to do now is smooth around it, then leave that flap for last. That's where we're going to cut right on the bottom edge this time. So you do inner bottom edge first, and then the rest of it you do the top edges, not the bottom edges. Top edges, then once you have that little flap right there, then you cut that flap on the bottom edge. See if I can focus it. On the bottom edge to cut that flap out. That way the vinyl is wrapped nicely around the sight. All right. Take that flap out. Now we're going to use the heat gun your finger or with the card. Just work around the front and the back edges of the sight. And then you can start trimming a little bit more if you'd like. All right, not too much heat because then it starts wrinkling up and opening holes. So just a little bit of heat, keep it at a distance. All right, so now we're going to continue. What we want to do now is we're going to start smoothing it onto the sides. So you're gonna fold it right around the edges nicely. This is the back side, this is the front side. Doesn't matter what side you do first. Then once you fold it, going with the form of the barrel, what you want to do is start smoothing it with your fingers. So it starts grabbing the form of the gun, of the crevices and everything that the barrel has. After you do that, do the other side. Again, so it grabs the form of the slide. Smooth it out. Now you're gonna grab your heat gun and very lightly from a distance, you're going to start going all around the slide and passing your fingers through all the crevices. Nice and neat. You might burn yourself a little bit. It's okay. You'll be all right. With the card, you can get the crevices of, that grit pattern that most of the slides have. Very lightly. Let's do the other side. Like I said, don't get too close with the heat because it'll start opening up holes or stretching way too much. That's going to cause wrinkles. So be very careful with the heat. Keep it at a distance and just smooth it with your fingers and the card. Now, if your vinyl is not sticking, then it's just the quality of the vinyl. Or maybe you didn't clean it with alcohol and it has oil in between and it's not going to stick. Now that I have it, if you can see, now I'm going to wait till it kind of like dries up a little bit. The heat melts it just a little bit. I like to focus on these lines from the slide. It gives it a better look. If it covers all that, makes it look like it's painted. Now, once you wait till it cools down, and you just keep pressing with your fingers and smoothing out the surfaces. Now, we are going to cut right on the edges of the barrel, on the front and on the back side of it. And you have to make sure that you kind of have it like at an angle. Just make your first cut from the top here. Feel where it starts coming down. You can also like put the heat gun just a little bit. It'll start folding right over. Once you feel that, then you can start cutting, but just give it a sec first. Let it cool down, so that way it's a crispier cut. Got my first cut. You can always trim it a little bit more if it doesn't come out perfect. There you go. Made my first cut. Now, cut the back, and then we start trimming it little by little into a better cut. There we go. Now we're going to cut all around the edge of the barrel here. So we have the back, the front already cut. Now it's going to look better than that. Just give it a little bit. Now you're just trying to get all the excess first. Let's start from here. Then right on the edge with a little bit of an angle going inward. I want to cut right along the side of that. And then on the other side, same way. There you go. Take that off. Okay. Now we can start perfecting the cut. Make sure your blade is sharp. If you don't feel like it's sharp enough, you're gonna have to get another one. These tend to work better for me than the X-Acto knife. So now we go right along. The reason why you want to cut pretty good, especially on the bottom of the slide here, is because this is what's going to go back and forth when you're shooting, and you do not want a malfunction because of this vinyl. So make sure you're cutting pretty good around it, right on the edge of it. There we go. I don't know if you guys saw that. Hopefully you did. So I basically just ran my blade at an angle. Like this. I'll show you guys. Just press up on it, right by the edge. And that'll give you the perfect cut right on that edge, so that you don't have a malfunction when you're shooting. Okay, so you want it at an angle going inward. At a slight angle, going a 45-degree angle, I guess you call it. Going inward and just sliding right on the edge of that barrel. Right on the edge of that barrel. Pressing up against the barrel. I mean the slide, sorry. So now we got nice and smooth. I don't feel anything coming out of it. All right, see? Now we can do the back and the front to get it nice and neat. Same way, going inward. Just go right along that. There, and now you're gonna grab the heat gun. Just let it melt just a little bit. You're gonna keep perfecting it. There we go. Cut around that already. Now, let's do the back part. Same way. There we go. If by any chance you see that it's just like folding the vinyl instead of like cutting straight through as you're going, then you just have to change the blade. Now let's do the heat gun. Smooth out the edges. If I come off camera a little bit, I apologize. You know, once you're looking at what you're doing and you're just concentrating, you just tend to forget about the video a little bit. You tend to forget about the video for like 2 seconds. All right. Now I have the cutout of the back, nice and neat, right around the edges, so that way I don't have any malfunctions with my gun. The front also. Now you might get just a little bit of a wrinkle in the front part of the slide. I keep saying barrel. Of the slide, just a little bit, because it's depending on the pistol. This one is a little bit rounded when it comes down, so you might just get just a little bit of a wrinkle. You just put the heat gun to it, just press up on it. It'll be fine. It's a little bit unavoidable unless you stretch the vinyl a little bit. But yeah, I have it cut out of the back. Like I said, at an angle, inward, right around the edges. Just like that. Pressing up against the slide. You can do all the cutouts that you need to do. Now, we are going to do the part where the bullet comes out, where the casing comes out. The ejection port, I guess you call it. We're going to do the heat gun a little bit. You're going to press down on it. See how it gets soft? Press down on it. That way you can see where you're going to cut. Press down on it. And you're going to see how it just starts denting in. Don't push it too hard. Just let it do its thing. Don't put too much heat, but just enough to get it soft. And you can start forming the edges so that you can see where you're going to cut. If you want, you can just make a small cut in the middle of it, just like that. Now, I am going to start cutting all around the edges. You can start anywhere you want. I'm going to start right here. Like I said, at an angle. See, I made that first cut right there. Now I'm going to continue. Like I said, press up against the slide. Not too hard, but hard enough so that you can get a nice cut. And you can always come back around and smooth it out. So just cut enough to get most of the work done. Now I have most of the cutout. Then I'm going to come back around and smooth out the edges. All right, got that out. Now I'm going to start smoothing around those edges. So I want to make sure it's nice and neat. And I don't have any malfunctions with my gun. There we go. See how neat it's coming out? Still have this little piece right here. See how neat it's coming out? Still have this little piece and a little bit right there. There we go. There we go. some meat. Now that I have the cutout, I am going to pass the heat gun on it at a slight distance, obviously. Now, if you want to cut around the chamber indicator, you can. All that does is lets you know that there's a round in the chamber. You have the option to cut around it or not. I'm going to cut around it. I doubt it's gonna malfunction your gun, but the chamber indicator on this Glock 43X is right here. Give me 1 second. All right, that's right here. See that dented a little bit. That's where the chamber indicator is. All it does is pop out just a little tiny bit to let you know that there's a round in the chamber. Now, before I do that, I am going to smooth out all around with the heat gun, all around the edges. And just pass your fingers through. Don't put too much heat, just a little bit. So I did cut around the chamber indicator off camera. Right there. I have to smooth it out just a little bit more. But everything else looks great. And I have a carbon fiber green slide. This looks awesome. As you can see, carbon fiber slide. I don't know what's a better angle, but I'll do all of them. Now I am going to put this gun back together. Since I am already done. There we go. Just needed to smooth out that surface there. Let me put this gun back together. All right, so we got our barrel. We have our barrel. And we have our spring. Now, before you put this in a holster, I suggest you let it sit for a while. So that the vinyl dries up pretty good before you do anything. Before you put it in a holster, I meant. All right, so I have the slide. I have the barrel, the spring. Now I am going to put it all together. And make sure it is functional. There we go. There we go. Glock 43X. vinyl wrap slide. Check. I may not be perfect. I know I'm still getting better and better at it. I still make mistakes, but it's not bad. I'll have it on for a few months and then or a few weeks, I'll take it off and do another color. But there you go. See? Now we're going to test the functionality of it. Make sure that it's not getting stuck or anything. I already loaded the mag, loaded the bullet. Oh. There we go. Lock back, nothing in the chamber. It didn't get stuck or anything. Spitting out the bullets fine. Next test is going to be at the range. What sucks is I might get a little blowback stains right here on the vinyl, but like I said, as a temporary color, it is not bad. It looks nice. And see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will do more of these. Thank you. This is the gun skin I had on before. Another thing, I have found out that certain vinyls stick better than others. You just have to find the one that works best for you. I already have a brand. I'm not sure what it's called, but I found it on Amazon. It's usually where I get all the carbon fiber looks, different colors of carbon fiber look. They have red, silver, black, blue, green. And you can also get the ones that are called gun skins. You can get those too. Those work really well and they stick on pretty good. And it's all the same procedure. But there you go.